on, and if there is any feedback and input on that, we would also welcome that.
Thank you. I would really like someone from one of our educationists to perhaps ask a question. There's a gentleman there. If you, thank you so much.
My name is Suhail. I'm PhD
Thora
student.
sa mic, please open.
I'm PhD student at KUID, Khan University Institute for Educational Development, and I am from Mardan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Oh, good.
So
we got GB, we got Balochistan, KP, Punjab. Wow.
And the gender representation.
What a random fix.
So first of all, sir, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. In fact, it's very few people have such type of opportunity to directly interact with the policy makers, even in fact the leader of the state. So thank you very much. Sir, I have two questions, and I would request you to please, if possible, give response to both of the two questions. And so I'm not from the political background, I'm from the education, so the question are only related to
from the political,
education.
I don't mind.
Okay. So the first question is related to education crisis in the country of Pakistan, and how it is a future national security threat for
State like Jeevan Sati plan. कम इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम में ज्यादा इंश्योरेंस का
Friends and International Maths and Science Study, where international global countries have participated, and Pakistan got second position, but from the top, from the bottom. So which means that a very rare few students or currently enrolled students in schools have like the ability to understand maths and science. There is another study conducted by the Khan University Institute for Educational Development, which also shows that overwhelming majority of Pakistani students have weak understanding in maths and science. And how the teachers are teaching, it's also in an outdated way. Now, if this country has to develop, अगर future में हमें इस मैथ्स और साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी में ही डेवलप करना है, और जिस हमने देख लिया कि दुनिया के उन लोगों ने तरक्की की जिन्होंने मैथ्स साइंस को अच्छा किया, टेक्नोलॉजी में उन्होंने किया, तो हाउ कैन with this current crisis in maths and science in the country, don't you think it's a national security threat? And is there any way कि आपकी जो national security councils वगैरह की national security issues discuss होती है, have you ever discussed those such type of issue, and what you have planned? So if you allow me, I can ask, just pose the short question. That is the short question. That is related to the quality of higher education, and especially in the time when there is a more emphasis on the expansion of universities in Pakistan. And on the other hand, there is a financial crisis in the universities. You must be aware, in the Peshawar University and the Balochistan University and many other universities, they don't have sufficient budget to give for the salary. So what the government is going, and recently in previous government we have seen that there was an amendment to establish new university. As a caretaker Prime Minister, how do you see, and what would be your response? Thank you so much.
I think so, very pertinent questions, both of them.
The first time I've heard you stumped.
I'm bold. The issue is that it's not that I don't have anything to say. But let me start with another Persian verse. You know, there was a famous Persian poet by the name of Mirza Abdul Qadir Bedil. And Bedil, according to the Iqbal, in the age of youth, God saved him from atheism, but it was Bedil. So Bedil is symbol of quite deep and profound poetry with beautiful metaphors. He says, Sukhanha dashtam az dastgah ilm fan bedil. Sukhanha is a plural. That I have so much to say from the realm of knowledge and skill. He has differentiated between the two. Sukhanha dashtam az dastgah ilm fan bedil. Bakhamoshi yakinam shud. I started believing in silence. Ke pur behuda mein guftum, because I started talking nonsense. So with this pretext, I'm going to respond to both of your queries. Unfortunately, in this country, our priorities have not been in the right place. When there is a crisis in higher education system, where you cannot allocate funds to carry on and impart the knowledge which is required for the building of this edifice of your nation, you allocate in the name of development billions and billions of funds to the member of the National Assembly and provincial assemblies, which, in my opinion, is quite criminal. What do? You have chosen a system which ensures the political positioning because of this constitutional arrangement. I am more interested about my trend on Twitter rather than understanding that what is the importance of science and mathematics for the real edifice of this nation, to which I claim that I am very much committed. So what do? Even if I portray myself that, oh, I am the distinguished and the different one, would it make a difference? No. I'm just an individual. An individual who's been assigned for a limited time span a task which I will do in whatever capacity I can, something good, something not that good, but I'll just retire to the dustbin of the history. But these questions which you are raising, they'll remain. And we do not have any strategic clearance and direction on that. And that is part of the tragedy. Yes, there is a realization when you interact with the people who are responsible for the national security of this country. We do discuss these things on different forums, but those discussions are not translated because of the kind of the political arrangement you have in this country. The discussions are about the constituency-based, what is the whole political discourse at this moment? We are just having elections around the corner. Have you seen any mainstream talk show on this topic, that what is the level of understanding of mathematics and science in this country? From all your private media outlets. There is an era of vlogs these days. Have you heard any of the vlog on this topic? So you are a lone individual raising a question, and I'm a lone individual responding to that. वो क्या था कि खूब गुजरेगी जब मिल बैठेंगे दीवाने दो, वो वाली कैफियत है. जनरली मुझे स्पेशलाइज्ड या इन्फॉर्म्ड इंडिविजुअल्स में ये रियलाइजेशन होगी है, लेकिन it is not being translated as a policy, as an implementing arm of the government, and that is the challenge. मुझे जितनी भी समझ हो, एहसास हो, अगर वो ट्रांसलेट ना हो उस इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में पॉलिसीज़ के, क्या फ़ायदा उसका. मैं बहुत खूबसूरत गुफ्तगू यहाँ करके निकल जाऊँगा, आपसे अप्रिसिएशन ले लूँगा, लेकिन मेरे जो 7 साल का बच्चा है उसको 2 + 2 = 4 की समझ नहीं आएगी. वो जो टूल्स उसको चाहिए या बच्ची को वो मिलने चाहिए. इसके लिए एडवोकेसी की ज़रूरत है, अवेयरनेस की ज़रूरत है, आप जैसे लोगों को बोलने की ज़रूरत है, जो आपने अभी की है. यू हैव कंट्रीब्यूटेड. दिस इज़ द कंट्रीब्यूशन, ऑनेस्ट टू गॉड. आप अपने अलाइंसेस बनाएं, अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन के अंदर अलाइंसेस बनाएं, अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन से बाहर alliances बनाएं, because these are the sort of things which get attention out of a mission, out of a passion. जब तक आपको passion इसके पीछे नहीं होगा, nobody would listen. Jolt people, do something nasty, do something different, seek attention. تاکہ لوگ متوجہ ہوں اس بات. یہ وہ چھوٹے چھوٹے ٹولز ہیں جس میں آپ لوگوں کو یو کین knock and the sleeping souls like us may get awakened. But this is the state of affairs which I'm honestly sharing with you as much as I can.
Your Excellency, this is a rich discussion and you can see the hands going up. So with your permission, we'll continue to take. I apologize. I actually can't see the people in the back. So, I mean, if I could just get you to get the mic to the gentleman who's standing right next to you or sitting. Ji, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amir Ivani. I'm a final year medical student. I was born in Japan and I was then brought up in Karachi since about 2010.
You were born in Japan?
Yes. My mom is Japanese.
MashaAllah.
Yes. So my question, I'm a final year medical student. I am soon to graduate, inshallah, next year. And my question is about the lack of employment opportunities in Pakistan, the brain drain, the issue of brain drain in Pakistan, where I would love to work in Pakistan. I consider Pakistan my home. I've been here for all these years. But the issue is, you see this mass exodus of students just fleeing the country, seeking better opportunities in countries like the Middle East, in countries like the US and the UK. What do you think the government, what do you think you can do perhaps during your tenure in office about this issue? Thank you.
Thank you. And first of all, don't consider it home. It is home. It's not just a consideration. And you are one of us, you know. And I'm so happy to see you and someone like you who owns Pakistan in the way you are doing it. Please sit. I've been misquoted on the social media on this one also. So at this time, I would be very careful what I have to say. I don't see this issue in isolation. I try to be quite pragmatic about it, that why there's a mass migration from point A to point B. And migration has been throughout in human history a reality. The sedentary populations, they have moved from one place to another in search of different and challenging opportunities, driving the ambition to conquer. And then in this modern age, the economic immigration is the primary drive which take people from one place to another. Until and unless you do not have a developed, settled structure back home, there would be people who would be moving from point one to another. Why do these people go either to GCC or to UK or to US? If I have a 7 or 8 years old kid, I want him or her to have access to good education, good infrastructure, relatively secure environment. So these are the 3, 4, 5 factors which are driving people to choose their position of permanent stay. And if any of those indicators are not promising that much, whatever they call home, then you cannot halt this process. But this process is not eternal. It's not perpetual. It has its shelf life. In India, I've been trying to give explanation on this account that in early 60s, people immigrated towards the Western Hemisphere. They settled in the US, they settled in the UK, other European countries, and they spent some 30, 40 good years over there, developed their expertise, gained certain capital. And in the early 90s, when the Indian economy started liberalizing itself, it attracted all of that, and that brain drain became, after 4 decades, its brain assets. Along with their capital and their expertise, they went back, they invested in their home country. Medical tourism is one of the finest going over there, thanks to the doctors who were settled in the US in the American medical system for 4 decades. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been in a position to offer those services even in the private sector. So if this situation is right now happening with the Pakistan, we need to, one, should not take it with a negative connotation. If a nurse or a doctor or an IT expert is going out into the global supply chain of services, this is what exactly I want. I would be earning through those individuals, and it would be contributing into my GDP and overall economic health. So this is not a curse. I don't know why people is projecting as a curse. There is a nuance to that, and a sense of despondency is being created that, oh, look at this. The whole young generation is so despondent. They are abandoning their home country and home towns, and they would turn into ghost towns and they will all leave it. This is not going to happen. This process would be quite natural. What we need is to do the due diligence, and wherever the gaps are being created, try to fill those gaps. We are a country of 240 or 250 million people. It's a huge population. If, let's say, 100,000, 200,000 or 400,000 useful individual goes and settles somewhere else, they have not entirely divorced from your society. They are still connected to your society. From where do we get our remittances of around $18 to $19 billion a year? From the same kind of people who left a decade ago or 2 decades ago or 3 decades ago, and they are from the town of Mirpur to other towns who are settled in UK or US or GCC countries. They are actually our assets. So these are the new assets which we are developing, or in an organic manner they are being developed. So I do not see it with a negative connotation, but at the same time, we need to develop our own infrastructure, make the indicators better, and one area is to export services to earn money, not the whole of it. The rest of the GDP has to be focused on, and the domestic produce has to be made better.
I think we'll take one last question from this side. I feel like we've ignored this side. So the lady in front, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry.
Aram se baith jao.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, Jazakallah, for giving us the opportunity. We are really grateful to have you. I'm Amna Sohail, and I'm from Karachi. I'm a final year dental hygiene student at AKU. To give you a brief intro of what dental hygiene is, it was initiated in 2015 with the intent of preventative care, emphasizing the role and importance of oral health. So my question to you would be regarding the absence of licensing body in Pakistan for this profession. What steps can be taken to ensure that there is a standardization of framework in Pakistan? Secondly, regarding the use of smokeless tobacco, pan, gutka, chalia, tambaku, naswar, ये सब कराची में बहुत ज़्यादा prevalent है.
Thank God she didn't ask for cigars.
तो इसके लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? What can the government do to regulate? And yeah, thank you so much.
First of all, let me share that I have appointed a SAPM on medical education and patient care. He's a professional. I'm sure many of you would be knowing Dr. Amir Bilal. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon. And one of the area was that licensing, imparting medical education, not just in the dental arena, but otherwise the entire medical profession, undergrad, postgrad, and the rest. And the kind of a mushroom growth these private businesses and the kind of a harm they have done to the produce which we are having clearly shows our commitment that we give a priority to this area. Again, with your specific query, I don't have something at the back of my mind, but if you are interested, we can link you to SAPM's office, and your inputs would be very much encouraged, and we would welcome that, and even anyone else also. And he probably would be on a visit here in Karachi also, and I can arrange a meeting.
Thank you.
With our Khan University and other professionals also. So you can have a discussion on all the details and give your valuable inputs also there. Yeah? Okay.
I think we do have to end, and I want to just appreciate the Honorable Prime Minister for your candor and really just the insight that you've been able to provide to us. This conversation could go on for hours, and I'm happy to do so, but and I'll apologize to all the students for the questions that we couldn't take, but I think the Prime Minister has been very open to receiving those kinds of comments and feedback and questions. And with his permission, I'll be happy to send them over to your office if you would like to continue to answer some of these difficult questions.
Please. I mean, I have a number which is available on the Google, so you can directly WhatsApp to me also. It's not an issue.
So we'll end here by thanking the Prime Minister for taking the time out to be with us. I want to thank everybody in the audience, but particularly the students who have asked these these questions that are going to impact not just their own lives, but the lives of everybody in the country. So thank you everybody for being here, and we'll continue this discourse offline.
Inshallah.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.